Hello, everyone. Got a different background today. I'm outside, but I'm here and excited to talk to you about three books featuring some of the most vicious, psychotic women characters, lead characters that you could ever find. These are the kind of women that will not only break your heart, but would probably literally rip it out of your chest, eat it in front of you while you're sitting there dying. That's the kind of women I'm talking about. In other words, my kind of lady, if you will. And you're gonna love all these books. Feminine rage taken to a whole new level, and I think you'll love them all. But before we get started, I want to remind you that I have horror books for sale, and you can pick them all up at the link in the description, including my brand new anthology, Nothing Will Ever Be Fine Again. That one's down there. My debut horror novel is down there. And there's a free one you can get if you click the special link down below. So be sure to check that out as well. And if you want to join my Patreon, you can, of course, get all my books for free, all my future books for free, and everything else you want. Free books every month, not just for me. And they're all at that link down below if that's something you're interested in. All right, let's get started. So the first book I want to talk about today is a book called Much Too Vulgar. And this one is great. This is about a college-aged woman. She's pre-med, but she was not able to get into lab work like she wanted. And she is very bitter about that. She's put in an administrative kind of position with the priests at the college that she attends. But she also has a very domineering, very psychotic herself mother. Her mother is not a good woman. She has put her down her whole life. She really has some hardcore mommy issues going on. And she is a psychopath. She delights in mentally torturing her coworker who she can't stand. There's a certain priest that takes kind of an interest in her, that seems to be looking into her past a little bit more than what he should. She starts to resent him, and she likes to play these psychological tricks on games with people, including, like I said, her workmate, her boss, her anybody she meets, like in an office setting, a receptionist and a roommate, of course. They have a very contentious relationship as well, but she delights in it. She gets off on it because she's a very astute uh, person when it comes to knowing what other people think and feel and their little quirks, and she exploits that because she is a psychopath, of course. uh, and she decides she's going to take her. She believes she's the best medical student there. She really thinks highly of herself, and she's going to not let her lack of lab work get in the way of her experiments. She finds a way under some tunnels at that college and decides to do these experiments on the rats that she catches and kills down there. It gets really delightfully gross and disgusting, and I love that, of course. But then things are going to take a very bloody, murderous turn when she's pushed too far, when her secrets are about to be revealed, and she's got to cover up one thing so the other is not exposed, and it just gets out of control. This is an excellent, excellent book. I absolutely loved it. A psychotic woman at her best. And the thing is, she's a very, despite all that, she is a very sympathetic character. Like, you look at these people she's messing with and go, yeah, if I knew people like that, it's kind of cathartic to see a character doing this because it's something you'd want to do, but of course, no normal person would ever do that kind of thing. Yeah, so I absolutely love this character, love this book. I highly recommend it, and there is a link below where you can pick up your copy in the description. And the next book I want to talk about today is called Sugar. This one just released just last week at the time I'm making this video. And Sugar is, of course, another female psychopath. She started killing when she was 20 years old, but she does it for a different reason than the girl in the first book. She does it because that's the only way she feels she can take control of her life. She kind of gets abused by a man when she's 15 years old, has a relationship with this older man. And of course, he's grooming her, and he eventually dumps her and doesn't want anything to do with her. She drives all this way just to basically murder him. And she's been getting away with this for a long time. Whenever anybody says or does something that sets her off, which makes her think she is being demeaned in any way, she goes on a killing spree. But the thing about this book is that she has all these characters surrounding her, and it's going to tell a fantastic story. and none of these characters seem to be connected in any way. But this book has got a lot of twists and turns. There's a twist at the end that blew me away. Did not see it coming. It changed the entire scope of the book. It's one of those where after you read it, you want to go back and reread it to catch some of the little hints this author drops along the way, because that twist is so out there and so M. Night Shyamalan-ish, like watching The Sixth Sense for the first time. It was just a fantastic twist. Of course, I'm not going to spoil anything. You have to read it for yourself, and trust me, you want to. Her story is kind of sad, and you do feel certain sympathy for her, but of course, she takes it much too far and just kills all these people. And then at one point, people are going to start showing up dead that are close to her, but she didn't do it. At least she says she did not kill these people. She admits to these ones, but not these ones. So what is really going on? And that has to do with that twist at the end. You're not going to believe it, how intertwined it all is. And this one is fantastic. And it's a debut novel, and I can't recommend it enough. I loved it. Highly recommend it. And there is a link where you can pick up your copy, of course, in the description. And next, our final book is called We Kept Her in the Cellar. And the great thing about this book is that this is a horrific take on the Cinderella fairy tale. We're going to see it more from the perspective of the evil stepsisters rather than Cinderella's view, because in this book, Cinderella is a monster, like maybe even literally. She's not all the way human. There is something wrong with her. We know that right from the beginning. When she first meet her stepsister, something terrifying is going to happen right then. There's going to be bloodshed right at the beginning of this book, and it's going to continue all the way throughout. Because in this case, Cinderella has to be kept in a cellar, in a special cage that she's locked up in, because she is vicious and almost feral. But of course, her father loves her, and he's trying to get his step family to accept her, hoping that he can change her. But this is this one's going to take that fairy tale to places you will not believe. It's almost an extreme horror novel, because it is bloody and it is gory and it does give you all them chills. But you got all the basic beats of that old fairy tale. It's just told in a very horrific, horrifying way. This one was simply great. If you like your retelling of fairy tales, very dark and very brutal, you are going to love this book, and as much as I did. And you'll definitely want to check it out. And as always, there's a link below where you can pick up your copy, and I do recommend it. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.